All right, so um, I haven't streamed in a long time, and so what I decided to do is, so I had some students that wanted to, they wanted me to teach them how to attach their Android um, devices, well, their applications to their backend APIs and stuff like that. So what I did was I did a quick piece as to how I would do it. So what I did was I used Retrofit. And so in Retrofit, I have a Gradle build out here, and I kind of added it as sub sub project to one of my students, to one of some a group of students that are working on a project. Added it to their sub project just to get some testing and everything. So where I started out was, if you go over to, I have my build scripts, and I kind of made it into services. And these are, so I did add JWT tokens as well, and I get to showing that off a little bit too. So the first thing I did was I made my interfaces. So I had like a retro package where these are all the interfaces. I kind of like how Retrofit does everything because it's kind of like a plug and play. And but what I like to do is add like a layer over it. So I have the user API, which is a test API. I have the authentication API, and then I have some interfaces here where I put those interfaces over the Retrofit API. So you don't see anything under the hood, you just use the API client. So this is pretty much a client. So I actually have the user services interface as well. And one thing that I did do as well is I made sure I made the implementations. I wanted to give my students a good design pattern to follow. So this is the design pattern that I gave out of the, well, this wasn't the very first design pattern. I didn't like the way that this design pattern was going right here because I really didn't need to do this, because this is only for if you're going to NQ and you're going to come and get the results later, or you just want the results to go somewhere else. I kind of started backwards because I didn't want to do the call and queue. I want to just execute the call, give me the results back. So I kind of got rid of this one right here, and I moved over to this one here after playing around with how the API works. And so now what I did here was I actually added the backend code for a couple, and then I did some testing. So the testing is for integrations. So I actually found this API out there that was just out and people can just use it. So I found that. But this API right here is one that I made on my own. Ooh, excuse me. And so to test these out, you know that the API has got to be live. Um, and so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to test it out a bit, and I'm going to show you how I got it working seamlessly. And I actually have it working in the Android application as well. So I had to write a little bit of code. So I decided to use Node.js Express because it was the quickest. So what I did was, this is my JWTs piece. Um, got my body parser, and this right here is this is the signer. And I want to get to my students the fact that we don't put the secrets. The secrets are only, you only see those secrets on deploy. So this would be maybe an environment variable or a config that comes from a CMDB. So, excuse me. So what I did was, it's pretty late. So this is like kind of a behind the scenes for me. So what I did was I made the token generator, and then I made my middleware here too. And I wanted to show my students how to isolate um, validation for tokens to certain endpoints and not to your entire application. So for instance, your login wouldn't have, you don't have a token at that point. So I actually got the login here where I just do the logic for login. I don't hook up to a database or anything. I just want to prove that we can get the token. And then I have a validate here where we can validate tokens. This is just for troubleshooting purposes or something like this. This might be only available internally or for development purposes. Ooh, very tired. All right, so then what we got here is the middleware here. This is I'm kind of injecting into any request that goes into this get right here just to validate that my tokens are working and they can be validated. So right here, I do practice right here where I not only verify the token, but I decode the token to verify that what I sent is the same as the same thing that I'm getting from end to end. And it's pretty tricky because here you're dealing with JSON, but if you're dealing with JSON here in Java, you're dealing with models. So like right here, so these are some of my request models, my authentication requests. So in the JSON, you won't see any of this. The converter helps with this. But in JSON, the only thing you'll see is these right here. And you'll see a little bit of that in the demo. Just like the token, you user request, and then the user response. And then I did a little implementation here. But remember, this is a bad practice. Don't put your unless this was an endpoint or this is going into a REST API. Remember, you only want to, the tokens is just to authenticate someone. So you wouldn't be deciphering those tokens. You'll be sending data up, but you only do things to validate a person's information. That's it. Or validate that they're still in a session or something like that, or they logged in at a certain time period and it didn't expire. So, and that's why you make the revalidation, where they can revalidate their token as well. So, so if you notice, I had to make this work with this, which is JSON. Also, one of the things you'll look into, if you notice, I'm a big Jackson person. I love Jackson, the data bindings and the object mappers and stuff like that. But because I've seen some, when I build, I've seen that my library might be kind of big using the GSUN, Google's GSUN factory. But I have to research this a little bit more to see what all Gradle pulls in for this versus what it does for Jackson. In the past, it has brought in a lot of libraries that I'm not even using. So I try to watch that to help scale down. So, now, let's talk about a demo. So the first thing what I did was I made this back end and I used Postman to just to test it before I start throwing objects at it, like getting some complexity. So I tested everything on both ends first, but this is where I started. So what I'm gonna do is let's shut this down. Let's bring this back up. And this is that server I showed you. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna simulate a login. So right here I got my token. So what I'm gonna do is I want to validate this token. Let's see if I can go and validate it. So when I go and validate that token, let's see if this endpoint works. Okay, so see, it validated right here. So see, we got user test in there, which I kind of hard coded that right here when we send that user test in. And that comes from that body here. So then now let's test this get where let's test the header. Let's keep an old one in. Let's make sure it's unauthorized, see forbidden. But now the token that I just got, what I'm gonna do is put that token in. Whoops, that's the wrong one. So let's go back over here. Let's grab this token right here. Let's copy it, and then let's go here. And let's try to validate it now. See, you're authorized. It says that you're authorized and everything. Good. And so see right here, it shows that you're authorized. And look at that. That previous token I did, it showed that it expired, which is a good sign. And to set, so this is how long my token, when it expires from when I create it. So yeah. Now, let's do the other test. So the other test is seeing if I can get my API right here to work with my back end here. So if you go and take a look, let's see, let's go to the retro interfaces. So this right here is the actual body. So if you notice, I'm grabbing the body here. It's going to turn it into JSON on the way out. And see how I go body.username. So the only thing that pops up is the things that are in this model, in the actual model, and not the functions. Just the private, the private parameters or attributes. So this means that this will be pushed into the body. You can also, so if I was to write, if say I wanted to write another endpoint and I wanted to validate, say it was the getter, the get. So if I want to do the get and we need to put a token in there, remember? Because it validates that token in the header. What I can do is I can change this right here to get. And then I can change this to, so let's add the get in there. There we go. And then right here, the get will just be this right here. That's it. And then right here, we can throw an auth request in there. But right here, we'll do something like this. We will say the header, and then what we'll do is give it the header name, which is token. And then right here, what we'll do is change this to a string. All right. So change that to a string, and then we just say get something. Okay. So now when that header comes through, because this is the endpoint that validates that header right there. So what we'll be doing is whatever we plug into this function would be that token for that. So another thing that's part of my pattern is I want to grab this right here. Let's call it something. So I want to grab this right here. And since we already got this established, I want to go to my implementation. So I want to go to my interface for my implementation. So let's see. So right here, what I'm going to do is let's go to this interface right here. And I am going to say like the get is going to return, let's just make it return an object for now. That get is just, we're just going to say it's an object. And we call it get something as well. And right here, remember we need to put that token in order to validate it, right? So we can do something like this. We can just say token token past that whole token object. And then what we can do is take this right here, copy it, paste it here, because there's an exception that's in that whole thing. I'm doing it the lazy way right now. So see how we got a problem related? And so it's going to ask me, do I want to implement the unimplemented methods? And I'm going to say yes. So I'm going to implement this right here. And then all I would have to do is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, return this .auth API.get something, and that token that comes in here, we have to take that token and we got to do token dot get the JWT token. That's what we want to go in that header. And then what we want to do is we want to do an execute, and then we want to do a get body, all right, and make it return that object for us. And that'll be it right there. Okay. So one thing to remember is this will fail if you do not return a JSON body. So what I did was I actually, and this right here can be a little bit different. I can set the status. So I can do a dot status and then do a return JSON. and return to JSON. So I have to refine that later. So what we did was we just added the client, added to the client. This one right here, it's gonna validate that token. And then right here, that's that header we had right here, that token header. So that's where I got that from. And so let's save it. And what we're gonna do is let's run one of the tests. So right here, we're gonna run this test. I'm not really worried about this test right here. I want to run this test right here because this would mean more to my viewers of running this test, as I made this from end to end. So let's go run a debug. Fingers crossed. Hopefully I ain't break nothing. And then I go through, and as you can see, look at that. I might have broke something. I'm not sure. So let's keep going through here. I kind of move it this way, and let's cancel that. And let's see it hop through as we go. Okay. See if I break anything. Nope. See, it's moving. And then I keep going right here. See, let's make sure I got the 200 here. Hopefully that token was validated. And see, it's true. So it was validated. And everything looks good. So I kind of figured out, I kind of made a way where I can implement this. So let's go over to my student's app. Okay. So in here, let's do a test trial. I like to do an end-to-end test trial. So like right here, what I did was I had to do a couple things. I want to look into this too. There's a strict mode on the Android applications. Right here, I had to alter that policy to take away strict mode so I can actually run and test in the emulator. So this right here was the get. This is the get all users right here that I had. And right here, I do the same implementation that I had. So since I built this as a library, I can go and take, where's it at? I can go and take, where are you? I can go and take my tests that I did here. And I can take this test right here and I can run it and see what happens. It can do the same stuff. And then let's go over to my activity. And first thing I'm going to do is let's put this here. But this is going to change a bit right here. This is going to be 10 dot, I think it's dot 0.0.2 or something like that. We have to look up. I have to look up the Android. What will the my IP address be on the Android, and we'll see what happens. So then I can turn this into, let's see, auth API, and I'm only gonna do one of these. So what I want to do is I'm going to just do this first. Actually, let's do the validation too. So let's cut this, and let's go here. And we can do our try and catch here as well. Right here, let's paste it in here. And this would change to the auth. Let's see. Yeah, auth API. Hopefully I got that IP right. So right here we got the auth API right here. And see, because I have it as a Gradle build, I can pull those libraries in. So I'll automatically pull up my library in. And what I might do here is I might show the, so see how we got token here? I'm going to take this and I'm going to do token dot get JWT. Okay. Another thing I had to do for the manifest was I had to go to the manifest and I had to open up the internet. So I did that. That was for one of them, for one of the APIs, because it's going out to the internet. And so now let's see this. Let's see if I got that IP right. So what I can do is let's go over to my app. Let's go to the logcat, and I'm gonna see how I labeled this right here. So I can definitely look out for when I can look at these. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see if we get any trouble. This is my first time testing this whole thing together. And so let's see if we can get some data going here. Might have to run it in debug mode. Let me kill it. And what I do is see the Gradle is running right now. So I'm gonna keep this up and running right here. And I'm gonna wait for that Gradle to retry. Something went wrong. I wanted to rebuild everything. Let's see if it's gonna rebuild everything. I'm gonna go over to the logcat again. And here we go. Let's see what we get. Okay. That activity should fire off. I got some issues going on in there. Or I might have to run it in debug or something. Yeah, that might be what I have to do. Let me stop it. Let me do go over to the terminal. And I'm going to do a Gradle W. I'm going to do a clean and I'm going to do a build. So this will clean that whole thing out. I'm going to cut this off. Okay. I'm going to do the build for both the library and everything. I should have did a refresh dependencies. But I see what kind of luck I get with that. I also can do the debug app too if I want. So like if I go here, put those in there. Well, I got has my system patent like crazy. Mm. And I gotta make sure that this IP right here is right. I think it's the 10.0. Let me check and see. Localhost. Let's see. Let's see. No, it's 10 dot something. Let's go back. Okay, look like that's done. Let's give it a run again. And let's see if this thing jumps. And no. So I have to figure out what should my IP address be. See something. Saw it before. Let me take a look at this too. The logcat. This emulator I'm looking for right here. Let me stop it again. Let's give it another run. Look like I had the wrong emulator up. But since this didn't start scrolling, then I don't have the right IP. So let's see, Android, local, host, IP. Let's see what happens. Nope, that's not it. Should be 10.0.0.2 or something like that. But I have to see. Let's see. Let's see. See where it's at. Should be in the dev rules. Okay. So I guess I'll be doing this right here. All right, let's see. Let's see. Somewhere out here. 10.0.0. Let's see. So that's the router gateway. And this, I think this is it right here. This is what I'm looking for. I could have just went here and got it. So let me kill this right here. And let me go over to, not Postman. Let's go over to here. And then this should be this right here. And let's give it a try. And I'm gonna run this in debug mode. See what happens. Here we go. Looks like it's not liking it. I have to figure out a couple things. So, let's see something. All right, so it's on 3,000. Looks like it fails right here. So let's give it a run again. See my logcat, nothing in the logcat. Let's go back to the debugger. Let's go here. This is fine. This is fine. And I'm gonna step into this one. Okay. See. Put the token here. Let's step into this. Let's step over. Let's step in again. Okay. So I see what the problem is. Okay. See what's going on. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to update all of my Gradle. So I'm gonna do a reload. Let's do a reload right here. Reload from disk. And what I'm gonna do is kill this right here. And I'm going to go into here. And right here, what I'm gonna do is and I'm going to Gradle. Oops, I'm gonna do a /Gradle clean build refresh dependencies. Okay, whoops. Be Gradle W. There we go. So let's refresh the dependencies. Might take it a minute. There's the clean. And my tests will fail if I don't have the server up and running as well, because they're like integrated tests. I need to do some mock keto so I can mock a lot of that stuff. So the reason why these tests might pass is because um, it's using okay, see how it failed. So let's see something. Yeah, so look like I think we'll be fine. Okay. Operation. I have figured this out too. Why it's hollering at me about this, but might be some code in retrofit. And test 37. Let's go over to 37. I expect it to fail. Let's see. Yeah, so I expect this to fail right here. But if I was to go here and do a debug, let's make sure it still runs. Oh. Let's go to services. Nope. Let's go to the backend API. That's because I didn't have the backend running. So let's get this back up and running. All right. And now let's see what happens. Let's make sure this is still running. Still looks good. Look like, yeah. Everything still looks good. Okay. Test pass. All right. So now let's go back here to this app here. Let's give it a debug. I hope I don't have to wipe it out, but we'll see. And let's make sure that in the activity, I have everything I should have. Yeah. All right. So let's go here, here, here. Oh yeah, it ran. It actually ran. Okay, it worked. So yeah, the token worked. This right here might have worked. I'm not sure. Let me go look at the logcat. So there's some things that I do need to do before I have to do some testing before I get this going. Something about this right here that it doesn't like it, and it might be because of some code that's up top. I'm not sure. So I have to see what's going on with it. But it's working so far. If you notice, we have this up here and everything. And so, or that could have been my test. Yeah, I think that was my test. Let's see. So this 10, this right here is not working. And let me make sure that the IP is right. Special alias. Yep, for the development machine. This device is loopback machine right here. And that port control. Yeah, so I have to figure all of that out. But if I was to go and do this, let's take this. This is private. Like it matters, but it don't. And if I was to take this and kind of, let's just take this and do this. We can take this whole thing here, and we can prove that the other API is working by me doing this. And I'll show you that that data client is working. So let's go here. Let's run it again. See what happens. See, so right here, that's the data client right here. So let's see. That's what I want right there. And then I can troubleshoot this right here. So what I can do is, hold on. The class is not there. That's why. Thought the classes were in here. That could be the issue. That could be the issue. This class is not in there. So let's try again. Let's see what we get. I thought they were in here. So let's see if it added it. Yep, it added them now. Let's see. Let's stop everything. I like to kill this whole thing right here. Let's give it a run. See if we'll be able to run it. Yeah. See, it should have been made in here, but it didn't. So I might have to do some async work. Because I think the responses are taking too long, maybe. So I might have to do some async work to get that working. And it might be where I do the enqueue to get that working. So the login, let me make sure the login wasn't working. And it could be that it's just not getting there. So let's see, for some reason, let's kill it. Let's kill this. Let me do some troubleshooting to make sure, trying to make sure what, what's going on with it. Let's go here. All right, let's skip through this, and what I'm gonna do is step into this, boom. See, code don't match bytecode. He's doing it again. Let's see. Let's keep going. Let's keep stepping over it. See. Let's keep stepping. Step into it again. Ah, here we go. Right here. So here's the exception right here, I think. And let's keep going. Step over that. So I got to figure out what's going on there. So what I might can do is do the log e, and we can do it as data claim too. And what I'm gonna do is take this, do an e dot toString. Let's see if it goes here. Let's cancel that. Kill that. Let's do another one. Let's go to logcat. Connect to this one. All right, let's see what happens. Here. There we go, right there. Okay. Okay, so the network security policy. Here we go. Yep, unknown service exception, clear text communication. So I gotta figure out how I'm gonna get past this right here. So here's a security policy in place. Yeah. Okay, so that's the problem with it. I think there's a let me see something. I think there's a setting we're missing. Something in the config we have to put in there. Okay. Here we go. So we have to do something like this, add this to there, look like. Ah, I remember this. Okay. Okay. I remember now. So yeah, so if you use HTTP instead of HTTPS, your API URL add to the manifest file in the application tag. Okay, I remember that now. Forgot all about that. I should have tested this before. So right here, I would say, let me do this just for these purposes. Because I can change it to a HTTPS, but we have to enable cores or something like that. So let me give it another run. Let's go to the log cat. See what happens. Look like I messed something up. That's what I do. Let's kill this. Let's do another. Let's rebuild it. And let's take this. Might have worked. I don't know. Okay. So let's give it another run. Let's take this, move it over. Yeah, what I'm gonna do is let's go through this. There we go. Nope. And right there. That's what we wanted. This get data right here to string, I think is where it fell at. Yeah. But it is getting there. It's doing what we want it to do. It's doing everything we want it to do. So I just have to troubleshoot some of the code, and that's what I have. So I made that API now. Everything is working. And that's it. All right, take care.